What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel reserved for the best. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the sixth element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir, and this over here is our co-host, Stu Dog. What's up, Stu?
Peace.
So today's DC Day. Well, DC Power Hour, usually, technically, on a normal Saturday. But we are doing a sort of little something different. We are going to talk about, because we can't wait. We just can't wait. We got to talk about Obi-Wan and Stranger Things. And so we're gonna deviate from our normal DC only, what do you call it? And we're gonna talk some Star Wars, because it needs to be talked about. We need to discuss. We need to talk about some things. Yes.
Oh,
Diamond
definitely.
Onyx in the house. Peace, sis. Slade in the building. Serious Biz. Welcome, everybody. All right, so
Let's do it.
we can.
Let's just jump in.
You waiting for me?
Just do it. Just do it. I mean,
Well,
you know what I mean?
you have.
Well, let's just start off by saying Disney
also
has
have-
released a Star Wars show. We look forward to these shows, and
Mhm.
you know, we have high hopes and also big expectations, because Star Wars is epic. I don't care what anybody says. Even when it first came out, I don't care. You didn't have to, even if George Lucas never remade them with CGIs. It's an epic trilogy. That's an epic story.
One of the greatest stories ever told.
Yeah, and everything that goes with it should be just as epic as well, or a notch under the epicness. Like, you know, it should be on an epic scale. Star Wars a 10. Everything else should be a 9 or better. You know, and if it's not that, the fans, in my opinion, you know, they have a right to complain. They have a right to bitch. They have a right to do whatever they want to say, because they put time, money, and effort into Star Wars just
That's
as
right.
much as George Lucas did. They got just as much blood, sweat, and tears. I know guys with whole collections of Star Wars memorabilia that take up whole rooms.
Yeah,
Whole basements, whole storage cabinets, and they're into it, man. Star Trek fans don't get treated that way. But Star Wars fans, sometimes they get the short end of the stick.
and I think that's because Star Trek just didn't go for the merch like Star Wars did. Star Wars is a very
it definitely did.
franchise. You don't see a lot of Star Trek merch. You do, but not like Star Wars. I mean, you know.
No, you're right, because they never. Star Trek was like, look, whatever we put out is what we put out. Like Deep Space Nine, perfect example. They weren't too sure how good it was going to do, and they actually thought it was going to flop, so they didn't put a lot out for it. So whenever you see something for Deep Space Nine merch wise, that's why it's usually more expensive, because they didn't make a lot of merch for it.
Yeah.
And when it became a commercial success, you know, they put out whatever they could, and they missed a golden opportunity to put it out early and capitalize on it. But like you said,
it wasn't an
it just
action
wasn't.
series, so they didn't do the action figures. That's, you know,
Right. I mean, I have a
wasn't
couple. They did figures.
they did
But they're
figures.
not that great. Yeah, they're not that great. But they did them. Right.
Not on
They
the scale
did.
of Star. Yeah, not on the scale of Star Wars. Star Wars was definitely more, you know, definitely for a younger audience, and for the more adventurous, you know, more action oriented crowd. But
Yeah, but the Star Wars fans grew up.
Star Wars
still
fans,
got to cater. Yeah, you still got to cater to these guys and girls.
and
Like,
that's
how
the
old are you?
problem. That I think is the problem here, because we thank you, sir. We deserve some content too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was for kids originally, but we are the fans that have, like you said, spent the money, put in the time, and we love Star Wars too. We want to see, you know what I'm saying? We want my bad. We want to see some content. We want to get some films and some movies with a more mature, more serious tip. And I really kind of thought that well, yeah, I thought Book of Boba Fett was going to be that, and it wasn't. I thought that, and I thought Obi-Wan was going to be that based on the trailers, and it really wasn't. I didn't hate Obi-Wan. The episodes 1 and 2 were what they were. They were Disney shows though. You had Leia, she's full on Disney princess. I mean, from the minute you see her, she's doing the hijinks. She's traded out her her little friend for her, and so she could run off in the woods and do it. I mean, straight out of a Disney movie, straight out of, uh Brave or whatever, one of these movies with the Disney princesses. I mean, they're always very, I don't want to say tomboyish, but they're very, strong-headed and very Disney princess, 100% Disney princess.
Right, yeah, yeah. They got a certain. I get what you're saying. There's a certain criteria they follow. They
Yeah,
they're
and
always rebellious
all the
and
boxes,
they're
right?
always they're cheerful. They check all the boxes. They have no social flaws,
Yeah,
but society
yeah,
comes
she
down
knows
on them all
everything.
the time.
Right,
Right.
right,
They're very outspoken,
right,
cheerful,
right.
charismatic. You know.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. We're not bagging on that at all. It's just that she checks those boxes. So this was a Disney princess. Just saying that to say that, and I'm being very careful because I know a lot of people like this show. A lot of people hated this show. I'm seeing a lot of very negative responses, and I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just not what I expected or hoped for. You see, like, not bad, just different. So I don't want people to get upset or think that I'm bashing it or whatever, because I'm not saying it was bad. It's just different than what I hoped it would be, than what I thought it would be based on the trailers, and just what I expected. It was there was a very, I don't know, I guess, for lack of a better word, cheapness to it. It seemed like a CW show, or like the 90s syndicated, cheap TV. It had that, with better lighting, but it was just, it just didn't. I feel like, here's how I feel. I feel like the actors gave their performance, and what a director's job is to do is to tell the actor, okay, do the lines. They're supposed to run the lines, and the director's supposed to say, okay, now do that with this attitude, or do it now with this emotion, or do it with this motivation, or let's do another take, or let's try it this way, and let's give me that again with more passion, or something like that. But I feel like Disney and Lucasfilm is a very woke and very non-toxic workplace environment type of thing, and they don't want to offend anyone and shame anybody, and God forbid they tell the actor try that again because it was his truth. Yeah, that kind of shit. And I just, that's what I feel like we got. I feel like we got first takes from all these actors, because, not going to say they were bad actors. They just didn't get the direction to do it again, or do it right, or do it better. Ewan McGregor, I think, killed it. I think he did a great job. I think, he's Obi-Wan. I mean, you can't deny it. And he's just a very seasoned actor, so he didn't maybe need so much direction. But definitely the woman who played Riva, she needed to understand Star Wars a bit better. The all the side actors, all the extras, all the smaller roles, the one-liner guys and stuff like that, they all could have used some direction. Um, but again, I'm not saying that overall this show wasn't good, because it was exciting. It had some great features. It was like watching a Disney movie. Who hates Disney movies? It's great. Like, but it's Disney Star Wars, and I just personally, this is not, again, I'm trying to be careful. Personally, it just wasn't what I expected or hoped for. Um, I hoped for, and to now explain what did I hope for? I hoped for a sort of a more cinematic, more mature, more serious-ish, more better production quality, I feel like in those areas it fell short or did something different. Because again, I'm not saying it was bad, it was just different. What they were going for isn't what I was hoping for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, listen, Disney has a direction for it. They put it in the hands of Kathleen Kennedy. Um, it all has to go through her, and they feel that since she worked so close and so much with George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg, and a couple other good directors, but mostly those two, that any direction she takes Star Wars, it'll be a good one.
That she can do
Uh,
no wrong.
right, and they doing that based on the fact that who she's worked with, but that
Right.
doesn't necessitate that she's as good as they are. It only says that she worked with them really
Right.
well, and you can't put that stamp on anybody. Sometimes it's you know what, Reno, is like playing sports. All right, everybody out there knows that watches sports in the chat. Sometimes you got to move on. Sometimes you got to make a change. Sometimes you got to do something different.
You gotta
Sometimes
trade
you
a
got to
player.
go on a different. Yeah, you got to trade a player. You got to move on. So it might be time to just move on from Kathleen Kennedy and her vision of Star Wars, and just move on to somebody else.
Give
I
someone else a
mean,
shot. Let
all
Dave
right,
Filoni
it happens.
run the thing.
All right, it happens.
Yeah,
It,
I
it
mean,
literally 100% happens.
yeah.
So, and if they don't do that, I mean, she's already stated they have to move away from the Luke Skywalker saga. Uh, you know,
Mhm. Yeah, and
everybody
that's
keeps
an
saying,
absurd that's an absurd statement. I mean, you don't the Skywalker saga, that's what Star Wars is, when you're talking about the movies. Now, if you wanna move away, Kathleen, from the Star Wars saga, great, go to the Old Republic. Go to the other established Star Wars eras and canons and things, but or and here's what she did, make your version, make a Disney version, make a
make a
Disney
new version, right? Make a whole new saga, yeah.
and
And
maybe
fans,
people will like it, maybe they won't.
were cool with that. A lot of
Sure,
fans asked for it. A lot of fans were like, instead of giving us those last three movies, could have just gave us a whole new saga. Right? Like
right,
we were cool with the way Skywalker saga ended, with the Ewoks dancing,
right,
on
yeah,
Endor and all of that. Like we were cool with that. Right? Nobody had a problem with it. Um, you didn't have to go. You didn't have to dive any deeper into it. You could have just went on and did something else. You could have did those three movies. You didn't have to do Ray. You didn't have to add Luke, Leia, nobody. Could have just been a whole new saga, like the new game Jedi Survivor. Could have been that.
yeah. That's looking
You know?
awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
That's looking amazing, I can't wait for that.
Could have
Um
gave us Dash Rendar.
Yeah, I mean, look, and we're getting Andor, which we're gonna show that the teaser trailer for that here in a minute. But yeah, Andor is going to be a spy. But look, Rogue One, in my opinion, it's my third favorite movie of all the films. It was that good to me. Like I love
Oh,
like my three is Empire Strikes Back number one, Revenge of the Sith number two, and Rogue One is the third, in my opinion. That's my third. So I love Rogue One. So Andor is a great prospect. The teaser looks great, but based on Obi-Wan, based on Book of Boba Fett, my hopes are now down here. I now do not expect uh Mando status, or I don't expect it to be what I hope it to be. I expect it to be more of the same, more of the Disney-fied Star Wars, which I'm learning to deal with and accept. And maybe I'm just an old head. Like Slade said, he liked the first two episodes, and I kind of liked the first two episodes too, Slade. And I think Stu, we kind of liked the first two episodes. It wasn't, I didn't hate them. It just was different. It was just different than what I expected. And now that I know what it is, I can go forward and watch it and enjoy it for what it is. Was I initially let down and felt kind of disappointed? Yeah. Because, and I'll tell you why. in the very beginning, the show starts off. So let's get into the show. So the show starts off with a montage of prequel era scenes with Obi-Wan. It's sort of a montage of where Obi-Wan is thus far, how he got to this point, how the kids got split up and sent to here and sent to there. And so we get that montage. That's cool. Then we immediately go into a scene from the same prequel era with a Jedi running through the Jedi temple, fighting off, clones, because Order 66 has been, initiated, and she's leading, a group of younglings out of harm's way, and she's got the lightsaber out and she's slashing fools and jumping and flipping, and it's fucking dope. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be epic. I'm like, I'm damn near getting up, bro. I'm like, dude, this shit is gonna be so dope. She falls. Kids are like, what do? We run, and then it's like 10 years later, and I'm like, oh, this is great. So the ship flies in, it lands, and out walk the Inquisitors, and my whole heart just dropped. It just was like, what is this? This is not what, like, from that instance, from them walking off the ship, I was like, oh, okay, this is something else. This is Disney's version. Because and how do you, like, what do you mean? They were badass when they came out, and why were they badass? Why were the people down there immediately scared of them, or knew who they were? How did they know exactly to go to that bar? So they go to that little tavern and they start talking, and he's doing this silly speech, and you know the Inquisitor guy, the Grand Inquisitor, he was cool. He was dope. The actor that played him was dope. The lines they gave him, corny.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Not
Yeah,
so
the stuff
much.
he did, the stuff that they did, it wasn't his fault, And then the third sister, she goes in, and she yeah, she was ruthless as hell. Slade, she was ruthless, but she how can I put this, man? I don't want to bash anybody's, it's just, and it's been said, this isn't all right. So let's all right. So what Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Just let it go, man. Whatever you think, you're entitled to your own opinion. This is America. Let it go, man. Let it be broke.
I just don't think.
Everybody respects your opinion, man. Just let it go. Let it be broke, man. Hey, you want my opinion on it? Let me
It,
let me do it.
okay,
Listen,
okay.
I thought. Listen, when I watched it initially, I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was the greatest Star Wars thing I ever seen. I'm not doing flips. I'm not dancing anything like that. I'm not dressing up as a Jedi. I'm not doing any of that. But I thought it was good. It's watchable.
Yeah,
Do I think it could have
for
been
sure.
better? Of course, 100%. Um, the problems I had with it were small and minuscule, but they're meaningful. So, like, I mean, I agree with Reno. I agree that the acting could have been a little more in depth. And I agree that they could have done a lot more to make the Inquisitor more like he was on the cartoon. Uh, not looks wise, but the way he acted. The
Mhm.
third sister showed no fear of the Grand Inquisitor in my eyes. She
She
just
was
showed no fear. And
disrespectful. Yeah,
and
she
as
was rude.
far as you right, and as far as reading the comics and according to the cartoon, the Grand Inquisitor, because you got to understand, there's 12 Inquisitors altogether, and they go by order ranking of their skill. So one is the Grand Inquisitor. And Grand Inquisitor is the best. That's it. So everything under him is 1 through 12. So you go, okay, all right. I mean, I'm sorry, 1 through 11. So you go, okay. Grand Inquisitor is number one. He's the best. So why would the number three challenge the number one, knowing you can't beat the number one, knowing there's nothing you can do to outdo the number one? Period. The Grand Inquisitor is supposed to be the most cunning, daring. He's supposed to be the most ruthless one, but they
Right.
reversed the role, and Hollywood does that sometimes because I guess they want to throw a monkey wrench in the plan, or later on in the show you didn't see that coming.
Could it
All right, we
be
don't need that.
the feminine thing? They wanted the woman to be the badass. This is
Yeah,
Kathleen
because
Kennedy talking about.
it's happened in every Star Wars movie. It's happened in every Star Wars movie, bro. Like, and that's just what it is. Um,
every
Grand
Star Wars
Inquisitor is a
movie
badass.
since
Yeah, that's
Disney.
since the new since she took over,
Yeah,
right? And when you go back and you read the comics, if you read, I think it's Darth Vader number 4 or number 6. Between 4 and 6, they talk about the Grand Inquisitors, and they talk about him how he tortured them so bad, like the way he did them so bad.
right.
They would never, they would never get out of line. They would never do what the third sister did. When he tell her to
Yeah,
stop, she stopped. They would never. When she threw the knife at the guy, he was talking. They would never do. None of them would never do that. They would sit there and wait patiently until the Grand Inquisitor was done talking, and then they would do whatever he asked
and like he
because
almost had to tell her twice to do some shit. Like she had the lightsaber up to the Uncle Lars, and he told
yeah,
her
that
put
would
it down.
never
She
happen.
held it up for
Yeah,
another
that would
5 minutes.
never happen. Yeah, that
And
would never happen.
it's not like she wasn't ruthless. It's just that she was out of pocket. She was not
She
in
was out
her
of control.
character. Yeah, she
All
wasn't in
right.
character. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by the actress that played her should have understood the character or the situation better. So, but for those, and here's the thing that I think I'm dealing
You know
with, and
what?
the
You
reason
know what it is, Reno. She wasn't. She's supposed to be. They made her a tough guy, but she's supposed to be a badass, and there's a difference.
mm,
She's not supposed to be a tough guy. She's supposed to be a badass, and that's the difference. The
yeah,
Grand Inquisitor is a badass, not a tough guy. All the Inquisitors, there's 12 of them, and they weren't. There's nothing tough about them. They were just badass, and they were made to be badass. The Emperor asked Vader to train them and make them badass, and that's what he did, and that's what they were.
right. Third Sister is the one they invented. The one that Wong played in the Grand Inquisitor, they're from the cartoon. They're from Rebels. They're from the animated series. But Third Sister Reva was created for the show, and she happens to be the one that was not in character, didn't follow along with the way that those characters are supposed to be, and following the proper lore. And it's like and I think, and the reason I'm being so careful is because like immediately on Instagram, people are like, some people were like, "You're on point." Some people were like, "No way," and all. So I realized that there are some people. Um, hey, Onyx, you see this in the chat? What a moron.
Well, what's in the chat?
This is more on spamming the naked shit. The uh, but yeah, this is why we need a moderator. Um, but yes, so Legion has said it showed she didn't fit at all in the mix. And what is it? The only complaint I have at all about the 2 episodes was the twist death she pulled off at the end of the episode 2. I don't know how to mod anybody though. That's the thing. What is the nakedness? Slade's always want to know about the nakedness. Nah, but someone said or he spammed. He was on the show. He was on here Wednesday. It's like, yeah, it's bots and shit. But I guess he's advertising some dating service or some super sex like type dating service. But anyway, I haven't. I doing this from StreamYard, and there's nowhere to like make people mods in StreamYard. I have to figure that out on YouTube because we do this from StreamYard. I'm not actually like live from YouTube. So one on your phone, go to this show, and tap on any of my comments. All right, you know what? Let's try that on add moderator. Legion of Comics is now a moderator for your channel. There you go. Boom. All right. Now we got some moderators in here. Try that shit again, naked guy. Slade, what's wrong? What the heck? What's up? He said, "What the heck?" But yeah, let's to give you guys some other reviews. CNN thing, they said what was Obi-Wan Kenobi up to during those years when he was watching over Luke Skywalker after the Republic's fall and Revenge of the Sith? The answer comes in Obi-Wan Kenobi, a six series episode Disney Plus series whose first two chapters stirringly deliver what fans should desire from a show as eagerly anticipated as any theatrical blockbuster. It's worth recalling a standalone movie was actually the original plan for this series, which features Ewan McGregor reprising his role from the prequel trilogy before the box office underperformance of Solo prompted Lucasfilm to go in a different direction. On the plus side, the episodic format allows for a somewhat more leisurely pace in exploring the characters and laying out the story, which I don't think they understand what episodic means. Which, after somewhat unnecessary recap, picks up a decade after the defeat of the Jedi, finding McGregor not quite looking halfway to becoming Alec Guinness, but close enough. Although there's an extensive time gap between movies, some of this period was covered in the excellent animated series Star Wars Rebels, which introduced to the screen the Inquisitors, lightsaber wielding villains tasked with hunting down those Jedi who survived the purge orchestrated by the Emperor. As the trailer explains, the Inquisitor's secret weapon is the nature of the Jedi themselves, as the Inquisitors seek to lure the prey into the open by testing their innate goodness, basically by prompting them to come out. While the Inquisitors have tracked lesser Jedi across the galaxy, one in particular, Reva, appears obsessed with locating Kenobi. We don't know why. Who is living an existence of desert drudgery while hiding in plain view. He watches the young Luke from a respectable distance, which is still too close to suit the boy's uncle Owen, who well remembers how he ended up with the lad in his care. Directed by the Mandalorian veteran Deborah Chow, these episodes most significantly concoct the more than plausible explanation, which shouldn't be spoiled, for bringing Kenobi out of his cave and into jeopardy. The scenario also creates plenty of opportunities for callbacks that, in a theatrical setting, would have fans whooping and hollering. Those other flourishes aside, McGregor, 17 years removed from Revenge of the Sith, proves an enormous asset. Let me okay, I was just checking the chat. Proves an enormous asset, perfectly capturing the legendary Jedi at his stage, still wounded, having innocent. Blah 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 blah. The considerations aside, Disney Plus series presents subscribers what it feels like a wonderful distraction. No Jedi mind tricks required. While there are still 4 installments to come based on the liftoff, the Force is still very much with Obi-Wan, which may possess a bit less spring in his step, but has lost none of its to those who have long followed him. The next review says the Force is not strong with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Debuting a few hours earlier than anticipated on Disney Plus, the first 2 episodes of Ewan McGregor starring miniseries, a nearly all undiluted nostalgia with no wisdom to impart and not much of a story to tell. Lacking the charm of The Mandalorian and embracing the hackneyed efforts of the Book of Boba Fett, the adrift Obi-Wan Kenobi plays way too coy and cute to be taken seriously as anything more than a slickish subscriber grab. Taking place in the Netherworld period between the rise of the Empire and Revenge of the Sith and the destruction of the Death Star in A New Hope, Obi-Wan is essentially a redemption tale. Yet, as George Lucas learned the lucrative way, a little bit of Joseph Campbell can be good for the myth, but bad for the execution. Full of kidnapped pint-sized princesses, Outer Rim workplace monotony, crisis of confidence, and well-timed throwbacks and plot holes, the opening of the 6-episode series is a soiled mosaic of its influences, which, no matter how much Lawrence of Arabia you mix in with the original Blade Runner, some Matrix, and an unseen Home Alone sequel, wilts faster than an orchid under the grueling twin suns of Tatooine. That demise is made all the more scorched by the fact that significant swaths of Obi-Wan have mid-90s syndication cheapness to them, while slightly better light. With 4 more episodes to go, whether Kenobi proves as tired and exhausted as the ultimately unnecessary as the first 2 remains to be seen. However, as the Star Wars machine cranks out product to fatten up Disney Plus's inventory, the outlook is not so good. Putting aside the payday that the likes of Star Wars vets Hayden Christensen and Jimmy Smits, plus Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Moses Ingram, Joel Edgerton, and a barely recognizable Rupert Friend will be cashing out of the series, scripted by Joby Howard and directed by Deborah Chow. Kenobi is simply surprisingly hollow. Coming out of the much tainted Boba Fett, the most recent live action Star Wars series on the House of Mouse streamer. You'd think that you'd think the Lucasfilm powers that be would have gotten under the hood at least one more time for a smoother ride, so to speak. An empty vessel jammed with Easter eggs, tired Western motifs, and a clear script by committee pitfalls. The very notion of McGregor's Kenobi as a chastened exile proves hard to sustain despite his repeated long stares off into the distance. For one thing, the deeply talented actors sauntering around the sandy backwater of Tatooine seems more well suited to his long way around, long way down, and the long way up motorcycle docu-series that crushed Jedi in the morning. That crushed Jedi in morning. The impressively choreographed fight scenes that take center stage pretty quickly put the boot to any rumination of a galaxy under Imperial rule. All of which is just so disappointing and yet unsurprising at this point for the small screen version of the Star Wars franchise. By the time Smith's Senator Bail Organa tries to implore McGregor's dejected Obi-Wan to take up the Jedi cause again in service of saving his adopted daughter Leia, lines like, "You couldn't save Anakin, but you can save her," seem almost germane, and that's just sad. Or to put another famous quote from another Jedi, "Do or do not, there is no try." Yeah. But and I gotta agree with both reviews. They both have merits, and they both, they're both wrong in some ways. They're both right in some ways. They're both wrong in some ways. But they both have pretty polarizing views. I think the show
Well,
is
it's
what's
two
the word?
opinions. You know, it's to me it's
Polarizing.
two opinions. Yeah, it's two opinions. It's one liked it, one liked it, one hated it. My opinion, I'm staying in the middle. I'll give it a. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be in the middle because I can't say it was all that bad, but I can't say it was all that great either. Um, because you got to set it up. So I figured these first two episodes. Now after this third episode, if I get the same monotone, lot of story episode I got in the first two, oh yeah, I'll be pissed. It's
Yeah.
gonna be on. It's gonna be on. I'm gonna fire a rocket at Disney Studios because okay, you set the story up. I get that. We know what Obi-Wan was doing the last 10 years. Obviously, what we saw in that first episode, that's what he was doing. He was just working, chilling, being a regular guy. That's it.
Right.
Then, you know, the next episode with the princess, because you got to understand, we had to establish that him and Princess Leia knew each other over time. Because if you go back to Star Wars, and I did go back to Star Wars and watch, she
Right.
did say she knew who Obi-Wan was, and he
Yeah.
knew who she was.
Yeah.
And so before that episode that we saw where he went and rescued her, she didn't know who he was.
Right.
And so now she does. So okay, I get that. So now I see why she was calling for him because he saved her when she was a little girl,
Right.
and I get that. So now I see why she was like, help us Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're all
You're
they
wrong.
hope.
Oh, yeah.
Now, hopefully, this series, without being boring, because it's a guy I know, is a real good friend of mine. He's a big Star Wars fan. His name is Jarve. He's a big, big, big Star Wars fan. And we went and saw, I think it was episode 2 together. We went to midnight showing all of them. And I
Mhm.
remember when we left out of there, he said something that resonated with me every time I watch something Star Wars. And he said when we were in part 2, episode 2, and you saw Anakin and Amidala, they just showed their whole, they had a picnic, they were running
Follow
around
people
holding
with powers.
hands, they were following. And he said it. He said, Stu, he said right before it got boring, he said, because it was getting there,
Mhm.
he said they stopped and then they got back to the damn story the
Yeah.
way he should. And he said that, and that's true. So before this gets boring, Disney, y'all need to amp it up because that's where we're at right now. We're at the boring phase. We're starting to get boring.
And it
And
should
nobody
be.
wants to be bored, and it
Right.
shouldn't be. And we
It
paying our
shouldn't.
money, man. Like we paying our money for Disney Plus because we want to see. I listen. I know people that they don't watch nothing else. They just want to see the Star Wars stuff and the new stuff. They got.
Mhm.
Come on, don't bore us to death. Go all out. Do what you got to do. Like I
Yeah.
said, I get that we had to establish him and Princess Leia's relationship.
Right.
I get that we had to establish why him and the uncle didn't get along. or why they didn't, because of the stuff because the third sister almost killed Uncle Owen. Because and
Yeah,
Obi-Wan was right there. All he had to do was just say, "Look, I'm the Jedi you're looking for,"
right,
and he didn't. And I can
right.
see why Uncle Owen could have a disdain taste for him because he's like,
He
"Look,
thanked Uncle Owen for not snitching him out.
yeah, right." And I see why Uncle Owen didn't really want to have anything to do with him because it just brought trouble. And when you go back and watch Star Wars, which I did, I just watched just the beginning part with Luke, Uncle Owen, right away, and all the stuff that Obi-Wan said, and it was it's spot on because the dad was like, the uncle was like, "Look, you know, just the way he ignored him when Luke said, 'You think he's talking about old Ben?'" He was
Yeah,
like, "Nah," and then he kept eating, and then he was like, "Nah," he's like, he's just it's just an old dead guy." Like right then, he knows him because of this TV series,
right.
and he wants Luke. He just told Luke, "Stay away from. Him. Don't even go out there. Don't worry about it." But Luke went anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch the way he interacts with everything and everybody, you're like, oh, okay, all right. So now I get it. That part's over. I need to
Yeah,
know what happens after that. I need to know how
right,
Obi-Wan. What I mean, I need to know because obviously Obi-Wan didn't stay in hiding a long time. He came out, did
right.
some stuff, and left and went back into hiding. So I want to know what happened. And if it
Yeah,
takes 4 episodes to know that, give me them 4 episodes.
yeah. And the little girl that played Leia, she was great. She was better
Yeah.
than the little boy that played Anakin in the
What's
first
his name?
prequel.
Christian. What's his name? Christensen, whatever his name is. What
Now,
was his
Hayden
name?
Christensen, that's your boy. That's Anakin. That's older Anakin. The
That's older
young,
Anakin.
the young
The
boy
younger
that
boy
played
was I forget his name.
a chat bomb. But yeah, did you go mute, Stu?
Nah, nah, I'm
Oh,
good.
okay. The young boy that played Anakin in the first prequel, a lot of people hated his performance. A lot of people felt that he ruined the
Matt,
movie.
Matt
Uh,
Lantern. That's his name. Matt
Matt
Lantern.
Lanter.
Yeah.
And he was admittedly terrible, but I don't know if it was his fault, or if it was George's fault for not directing him better, or what. But the point is, the girl that played Leia, she was great, for what she was told to do. Right? She was good at what they told her to do. Did we need a Disney princess scene in Star Wars book of Obi-Wan? No, we didn't. What we want to know about is Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker and what they're doing on Tatooine and what he did in this time and all that. Giving this whole Disney princess thing, and making the whole the Grand Inquisitor, Reva, the third sister, you know uh rebellious against the Grand Inquisitor, kills the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Come on, bro. I'm
Mm.
sorry, man. The more I think about it, the more I'm miffed about it, man. But like I said,
I mean, look, what happened at the end of Solo? Just tell me. Just give me a brief description of what happened at the end of Solo.
what you mean with Darth Maul?
Period. The lad. What happened? Okay, Han Solo has the standoff, so we know why he shoots
Yeah,
first all the time.
we reveal that Enfys Nest is a female.
And
We
then
we
and then
find
they
out
go back to the ship. The girl fights. She fights the guy that's supposed to be his badass leader the whole
Drayden
time.
Voss.
Whoops his.
Right,
Gives Drayden Voss work. Calls Darth Maul. He says, "Well, I was training you. Then you come on." And then the
right.
leader of that rebel force that was after this, whatever they were trying to get the whole time, the spice, whatever. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't remember, but takes off the helmet. It's a woman.
It's a woman. They
So now, at
set
the
up
end of this
Taskmaster
movie,
situation.
right? At the end of this movie, you killed the male, the lead male, who was
Right.
the badass, and replaced him with a woman who's supposed to be a badass. And then the leader of this rebel team that's been chasing them the whole time, that's after the same thing they were after, is a badass, and it's a woman. I
Mhm.
mean, when does it stop? Like same thing like Star Trek Discovery. Paramount Pictures, like you said, Star Trek's not about. They just said, look, we got to take Discovery in a different because it's just too many women. It's too much. It's just too much homosexuality. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's too much. There's no balance. The
Right.
captain's not even. And they there was one good point that they made. They said whether male or female, the captain has to have strong moral values.
Mm-hmm.
The captain of the ship that was a male was kind of timid, standoffish, but the second in command was a female, was a stronger character than him, but she was a loose cannon. And then they
Yeah.
put her in the captain's chair, and then Paramount was like, "No, that's not how we do Star Trek," and they shut it down. And they said, "Listen." So when the next season came with Discovery, you saw how the captain was formerly a loose cannon, is a female, but now she has more strong moral values. She's more of a leader. She's more of a
Right.
stand-up type of person. That is the thing that they're taking away from Star Wars. Like you said before, there's always been strong female leads in Star Wars. We
Exactly.
never needed that, right? Girl
And
characters
like
being so
time and
shit.
on, you're right. I love female characters. I love female characters, and I love when the female character is a real badass. When she's a stubborn, tough guy that's just disrespectful and rude to her boss, it's kind of corny. I don't like that. It's lame. It's lame. It's unrealistic, and it's just lame. It's cheesy.
It is.
But female characters, strong female action characters, dope. Love them. Star Wars has always had that from Princess Leia. I mean, they've always had strong
Yeah,
Padme
they've always had
Amidala.
strong. Padme
There's always
Amidala,
been there's always
always.
been
Yeah, there's always been a strong female presence, right?
Rogue One, my
Even the,
favorite movie.
I mean, let's
Female
bring
lead,
it down to the female Jedi's. You got to be
right?
strong to be a female. Yeah, it's never been
Yeah, you got there's plenty of
never been
female
an
Jedi.
issue.
There's female lead characters. My favorite, one of my favorite Star Wars movies, Rogue One. The lead character's a female. Star Wars has always had that. So the fact that they felt they had to demasculate, emasculate Luke Skywalker and make him a hermit, just hiding away, and make it just taking Finn and putting him to the side to make Rey the main focus when Finn was the character that we were advertised was going to be the main guy. When the trailers for the sequel trilogies came out, it was Finn, 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 Finn. We saw Finn. They advertised it as if this young black man was going to be the new lead Jedi in Star Wars. Like, that was dope. We were all ready for that. And then boom, they just shoved him to the side. So by the last movie, he was barely in it. All he did was like scream Rey's name. Like, horrible.
But
And they
look
did
at
it
but
so
look at
bad.
how it happens. But look at how it happens. Every female character that takes the lead in Star Wars always overpowers the male in some way.
Now,
And then you get pushed to the back. Grand Inquisitor gets tricked by the third sister, stabbed in the back, no doubt.
right?
And then now she's there like, oh, I'm in charge now. First of all, according to the comics,
You third
unless
sister
she
is
went
2 people ahead of
right,
you.
yeah. According to the way it would have went down, had she killed the Grand Inquisitor, she'd had to talk to Vader about that.
Yeah,
And Vader
that's
would have been
his
like,
man.
well, why'd you? Vader hated them. He would have killed her just
Mhm.
for stepping out of line to show the other ones, I dare you to even
I'm the
try
one
it
that
when
runs
it
shit.
comes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the one that's gonna be doing all the lightsaber killing around here of Inquisitors. If
and
you ain't
besides,
killed by a Jedi, you better get killed by a Jedi. But you start killing each
mhm,
other, I'm knocking all of y'all off.
exactly. And I think, people misunderstand me when I have these problems with it. It's not because I think they don't know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place of already knowing who these characters are supposed to be and how this shit is supposed to go. Now, if you come into this not being a big fan of Star Wars lore, not really being invested like we are, not having read all the books, all the comics, played all the video games, watched all the animated shows, all the short, like heavily invested, own all the movies, like got probably 50 action figures, right? Got heavy into Star Wars. I know it well. All right. So when I tell you there's something wrong with this show and you're like, "Oh, you're crazy. This show was great." You just don't know. And that's fine because I think that's who this is really for. This is not, they didn't do this for us. And that's the problem. You made the Obi-Wan show. This is the show that us old heads have been invested in since the 80s. We've been wanting to know what old Ben was doing on Tatooine all them years for decades now. This was our show, but they gave it to the masses, the non-super fans, the
The
Disney fans,
casual audience,
the
the casual
casual
audience,
audience,
like they always do. And
right?
that's what it's about. I'm sorry, man.
And they
It's
don't
about
know.
appeasing. It's about appeasing the casual audience. George Lucas, see, the difference wasn't George Lucas made the film. He made it because it was his baby, his vision. He broke the Hollywood mold and made Star Wars. And then when they figured out it was a success, he didn't deviate from that. He was like, "Look, I'm gonna keep making my baby. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna give this to the fans. This is for the fans, from a fan of
Right.
sci-fi genre. It's just what it is, bro. That's what it is." So I did, like I said, next episode, you can't bore me out. Okay, I know what Obi-Wan was doing the last 10 years. I know now that he has a relationship with Princess Leia. I know this. I get this. So now, impress me. That's where I'm at with it, Rena. That's where
Mhm.
I'm at. Disney, impress me now. Impress me now. You got your shot to bore me. All right, you did that for 2 episodes. All right, did I watch it? Yeah. Was I displeased with it? No. Did I thought you could do better? Yes. But after this episode, you gotta bring it. You gotta bring your A game. Plus,
Yeah,
plus, plus. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I don't, I'm not. My hope is not lost for. My hope is not lost for that to for because look what we got at Book of Boba Fett. Look at some of those scenes with the Mandalorian that were phenomenal. That were like hell yeah. Like so there was some stuff during Book of Boba Fett that was great. So I'm not giving up hope that there will be some awesome shit like that in this series. There very well may be. This shit might get better. But it's it's not it's I now know I now know what it is and what it isn't. So I will go forward with that knowledge and probably enjoy it more now. I was just taken aback when I first seen it that, oh, this is not at all what they advertised it to be. This is not at all what what us fans, what us old school fans really wanted. But it is what it is. So, but it's Star Wars related. So I'm going to like it. I'm going to rock with it. I'm going to mess with it. I'm going to watch it because it's Star Wars related. I'm just that big of a fan that even if it's a little different, it's still some Star Wars content. I'm going to watch it. Like with the Wu-Tang show. The Wu-Tang show, I'm a major Wu-Tang fan, so I'm gonna watch the Wu-Tang show. Whether it was, the best thing in the world or not is neither here nor there because I'm that big of a Wu head that I'm gonna watch it anyway. So that's where
I
I'm at
get
with
it. Yeah, I get it.
that's
I'm
where
with
I'm at
you,
with
Reno. I'm with you, Reno.
I know.
Like I said, I just don't want to be bored. I don't want to be bored for 4 more episodes. All right, I got the backstory. I got the gist of it. You established your anchor. You put down your root. All right, we know what Obi-Wan, like I said, but I need to know, what Obi-Wan did to make sure that he could stay hidden and to get them Inquisitors off his back. Because he had to knock them off. He had to
Mhm,
knock off a few of them in order to keep him from coming back or
mhm,
throw him off his trail. Because now that he saved the princess and they know he's alive, because they didn't know if he was alive and he didn't know Anakin was alive. And
right.
everybody thought everybody was dead. Now I need to know what did he do to make sure that they didn't still keep looking for him. Because by the time he finds Luke, there are no more Inquisitors. We don't
Yeah,
know what happened to him. Right? There are no more Inquisitors. I mean, let us know what happened. Maybe Obi-Wan knocked all 12 of them off. Well,
mhm,
11 now, but it's 11. Yeah, it's 11.
yeah,
Maybe he
but the
knocked all
point is
11 of them off. We don't know.
there's a lot more than 3, and you know what I'm saying? So there's more than 3. So we know that there's more than just Riva and the Grand Inquisitor and that character that Wong is struggling to play. The guy that plays Wong. Uh So there's, like you said, there was 12 in total, so there's at least 11 more to go. Riva being the head of them is just unrealistic. It doesn't make sense. It's not what, it's not what doesn't make sense. It's just not how it goes. That's not how rank works. It's not how military rank works. You don't just kill the general if you're a corporal and become the general. That's not how it works. But
she gave herself a field promotion. That's what you would call it.
yeah, right, exactly. A field promotion that when the war is over might not stand, and you might get a court martial.
Right.
But yeah, it's, hey man, it remains to be seen how this thing's gonna go. I do know that it is now not what I expected it to be.
That's all. And do you think that they'll, because you think they're gonna bore you the next episode? I mean, keep it a buck, man. You think
no.
Think you're gonna be?
No, I don't. I don't think it's gonna be boring, and I don't think these episodes were boring.
No, they weren't boring.
They weren't boring.
Right, but like I said, my boy Jarvey said, right before it got boring, it picked up.
They picked it up.
Right, and I can't do that every episode. The next episodes, we got. I don't need all the backstory. I don't need all the crying. Bring Princess Leia back, and then have Obi-Wan say, you know what? Let me get my mojo back and go back out here and knock some of these guys off.
Mm-hmm.
Or keep them off the trail, or make sure they don't come looking for the princess again.
Right.
And that in itself, but they don't know she's Anakin's daughter. That's the thing. And I can see him going out into the wild to make sure that they don't know that, because right now, like the third sister said, she knows that he worked real close with them, and the only people that knows that those are Anakin's kids is him and Yoda. That's it.
Yeah, no, if Anakin and Vader knew, it would be
and the Organas, and the Organas, they're the only ones that know. I don't even think Uncle Owen knows that's Anakin's.
Owen knows.
No, Uncle Owen knows. He knows it. Yeah, so only a few people know. So we gotta see how we gotta figure out. Just tell me how he got them off his back or off of their backs, because right now, if they kidnap Princess Leia once, they might do it again. We don't know. Right. We might have to knock off some Inquisitors.
Yeah. And that might just be what we need. Let's see it happen. Now we are also about to get the Andor show, which again, the teaser, the trailer makes it look really good, just like Obi-Wan did. But since I thought that Boba Fett was the fluke and Mandalorian was the rule, but with Obi-Wan, I find out that Mandalorian was the fluke. And so now I'm going to guess that Andor is going to be in the same production quality range as Boba and Obi. But let's check out the teaser to Andor and see what we think, because again, Rogue One is one of my favorite movies, and so I have maybe I'm a fool me twice, fool me 3 times, shame on me, but I do have hopes for this. So but yeah, let's run it.
You're just a fan, sir. You're just a fan.
That's all.
Wrong with that's all. Just you being a fan.
All right, 1 minute and 54 seconds. Andor teaser, run.
They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied. They're everywhere. They're watching me now.
So,
Soon enough, these days will end. There will be no rules going forward. People are standing up. That's what a reckoning sounds like.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty
Tight
interesting.
lips. I'm just staying tight lipped.
I mean, it looks interesting.
Nah, it does. It does look good. You know what, Reno? I think they're just trying to find a sweet spot, and they need to just look at just say, look, all right, we know Star Wars isn't boring. They don't do a lot of backstory, and when they do, they get to the point, they move on. If
Yeah,
you
they
want to know
don't do a
why
lot of backstory.
Mandalorian, no, you want to know why Mandalorian was so successful? Because they didn't dwell on nothing. They got straight to the point. When we see Din in the very first episode, he walks in the bar. That's his president, let you know what he's doing there. Even though he's talking to the other guy, it's still letting the audience know what he's doing there, how it's going to go down. He captures the guy, he flies off, he goes back.
But it was
It
great
moves
acting.
along.
It was quality
Right,
acting
right. It
and
was
great
quality
production.
acting, and it's moving on. Right, it's moving on
That
with the
first
story.
episode,
Yeah,
yeah, that first
yeah.
episode told you this is about to be a crazy good show. We didn't get that kind of first episode from Boba or Obi.
No, we didn't from Boba or Obi. But I have high hopes for the third episode. Hopefully, the third episode does just that, and we keep it moving. And by the end of this series, we're like, yo, this was great, and we can't wait for Andor.
That's right. But
That's
yeah, man,
what
that's what we
that's
hope.
what we shooting
So,
for.
August 31st, Andor, and let's
I didn't know.
let's hope.
I didn't know it was August 31st. That's close, man. That's like what, two
Yeah, it's
months
not
away?
far. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
not far, bro. I'll be here before you know it. Oh, I
yeah,
mean, I hope not, because that means my summer is over. But um,
yeah.
oh, uh, you know,
But
I,
yeah, Stranger Things was really good. As always.
Stranger Things is excellent, man. I haven't watched all of them, but it was
Yeah, I
good,
haven't
bro.
gotten through
Everybody's
all of them,
talking about it. I haven't gotten through all of them
but
either,
real
but
good.
what I did get through, I'm highly impressed. I felt like I was in the '80s again, as always.
Mhm.
Uh, and I love it, man. I can't get enough of Stranger Things. Am I upset this is the last season? Yes. But like Prince once said, all good things never last. So
I heard that they might do another season after this. I heard that
I
there
don't
was
know, man.
I heard that it was 5 seasons was the total. But I would be I would be satisfied if they capped it off with this one just because it's getting to the point where like
The kids are getting too old.
kids are getting older and it becomes yeah. I love the Vecna stuff. I love that they're talking about Vecna and the hand of Vecna and the curse of Vecna because I'm an old D&D fan and it- Dungeons and Dragons Vecna is one of the oldest big bad characters in Dungeons and Dragons, and that's kind of how they started it off with the Demigorgon was the first season, the Mind Flayer was the second season, and then the Mind Flayer again. But then now we have the Vecna, like the Dark Wizard Vecna, and so it's really cool. They're taking these monsters and characters from Dungeons and Dragons and making real versions of them, and then the kids who are D&D players see these monsters and stuff, and then they give them their own name. They name them based on Dungeons and Dragons characters that they know, and so I think that's a really cool trope that they're using. I like it, and I was excited to see the Vecna title, Curse of Vecna and stuff like that because again, that's a big character in Dungeons and Dragons, and recently repopularized by Joe Manganiello, the guy that played Flash in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and also the one of the werewolf guys in True Blood. But he is like a big D&D player, and he has started this big D&D, with Vince Vaughn and like all these big Hollywood actors and stuff, and they play Dungeons and Dragons. And they he did this thing during one of the games where and this is gonna make no sense to you guys, but he cut off his own hand and replaced it with the hand of Vecna, which was just crazy, and then he teleported out of there, which was super well thought out and so epic in the community of Dungeons and Dragons that the creators of Dungeons and Dragons, the guys that write the books and everything, they canonized his game that he played, his campaign, the shit he did in that game. They literally canonized his character and the stuff he did. So it was a big deal with D&D and Vecna and all of that. So them rolling right into this and using that was super cool. But yeah, but I always, I never have to worry about Stranger Things. I know it's always going to be dope. And big time 80s nostalgia. Goodness.
Oh, we love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Well,
love it.
What do you say, Stu? That's our hour. Are we
Well, we covered it. I mean, we did the damn thing.
Yeah,
We
I think so.
talking about Star Wars. We showed the Andor clip. We love all you guys in the chat, and we'll be back with more Star Wars. We'll be here Monday. What we got Monday?
I want to say is Monday. Is this the Monday that Shadow Panda
Next Monday. It's the Monday after. It's the Monday after Memorial Day weekend, right? We said it was the Monday after Memorial Day.
Memorial. So Monday's Memorial Day. We will. I don't know. Well, it's gonna be a good show. That's all. I don't know. I don't know who's coming on, if what guest or if anybody is coming on. I gotta check, but it's gonna be a great show, guys.
I might have a guest. I might have a guest for us.
Awesome.
I have a guest. I gotta make a phone call. I gotta make some phone calls. But I have a guest, and this is one that the audience will enjoy.
Yes.
They'll enjoy. I gotta make a phone call.
Rest assured, we will give you guys a show you're gonna love. As always, Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll be back, of course, Wednesday, and then again next Saturday.
Wait, before you go, what if we needed comics, man? Like, because sometimes I need comics in my life. Where could I get them? Like, who do you know that sells comics?
You know what?
Outside of my local comic shop.
Now that you mention it, I do sell comics on Instagram. My Instagram, yeah, I do. On Instagram, live, and you can definitely find me there. Let me give you guys the old handle.
Yeah. You got any raffles or shows, anything coming up?
No, nothing
in the next
not
48
right
hours.
No. But I will be live. I will be live tonight. Probably from about 9 p.m. to midnight. So get on Instagram right there, 6th_element_comics, where I will be selling comics with my homeboys. We'll be on there chopping it up and slanging books.
You'll be on there live tonight at around 9 o'clock.
I'll be on there live tonight from 9 a.m. to midnight. And
tune in 9 p.m. 6_element_comics on Instagram. Check out my man Reno Noir as he sells comics to all the fans, and even you fans in the chat. You never know. You might have something good. You might have something you don't have, or you might have something you've been looking for. But either way, check them out.
Yeah, we're gonna have some good. We're gonna have some hip hop covers up there. It's gonna be some good shit. Some John Jang, some G.I. Joe, some Snake Eyes, lots of great big mystery lot bundles. I sell 6 to 10 mystery comics for $20, and you get 4 of those 6 to 10 comic packs for $60. You get the 4th pack free. And so it's a lot of fun. You get a lot of great value, tons of books. So that'll be tonight on Instagram, 6th_element_comics. And what else? You guys will Sunday. I think I'll be live again from 9 to midnight. But June 11th, June 11th, guys. Don't forget, and I'll be talking about this ad nauseum. But June 11th, there'll be an all day long 12-hour sale from night from noon to midnight Eastern time. And it is, yes, it is Eastern Standard Time, Diamond Onyx, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to midnight is when I usually am live on Instagram. And on the 11th, it'll be an all day thing with all the Mad Men and Comics homies will be up there chopping it up and selling books all day. So yeah, that was the show. Thank you, sir. And that's our hour, guys. We're gonna try and keep Saturdays and Wednesday to about an hour show. And Slade, thank you, sir. So yeah, man. Stu, you got anything else?
Love all you guys. We'll see you Monday.
Peace.
Peace.
Yes, I do.
Slay said, "Do you take PayPal?"
I do.
You
PayPal,
take PayPal. You take everything. Cash App, PayPal,
yes.
CODs, all of that. I take it all, baby. I take it
Chime,
all.
Zelle, yeah, whatever you want. All
Yeah, whatever you got. Yeah, as long as it can spend in the American economy, I'll take it.
That's right.
I don't blame
That's
you, bro.
right.
I don't blame you, bro. Nah, great show, man. Great show.
All right,
Shit,
y'all.
man. Damn, man, you a little agitated with Star Wars, huh?
Nah,
No,
B, it's just that
agitated, man.
I'm
You
disappointed,
can't
man.
be,
But
man. You can't be.
disappointed. I was disappointed when it started, but now I've accepted. Now I know what it is, so I'll come at it from a different perspective, and I'm sure I'll love it and have fun with it. But
Hey, man,
yeah,
listen, it'll get better, man. We got all right. Look, we got another episode. I mean, listen, it wasn't the greatest. I'm not gonna say it. I can't sit here and say that it was. I'm on your side. I'm with everybody else. It's just that I get what you're saying when you said like, all right, when you're like, look, it's after watching the trailers, it's not what I expected. I get
that's
that
all.
because you
That's
expect
all.
more from it than what they gave us, and I get that, man. I'm on your side with that.
That's
So
all, man.
peace, man.
Peace.
Yes. Peace.